Hello my dudes, welcome back to the channel. This is Kadima bringing you the second build for Black Myth Wukong. This build covers the second chapter, and most likely if you play it just like I did, it will cover you between level 20 and 40. So by the time you reach level 40, which is as I am right now, you should be able to equip all of these and have access to this equipment. Let's start with the weapon. I'm using the Cloud Pattern Stone Staff, which moderately increases the damage executed by charge smash heavy attacks. I'm going to exclusively use the smash stance, so this is a nice bonus to have. This has also got an attack of 60 and defense 30, which is very useful at this stage. Wind Tamer is the vessel that I strongly recommend you get before coming to this boss fight. This vessel is intentionally meant to be used for this boss fight, especially because of its second ability, which grants you immunity to strong winds. And the vessel clearly states highly effective against specific enemies. That means this boss fight. It also has an equipped effect of slightly increasing damage reduction. It's only 2%, but it's nice to have. And when you activate it, it also increases damage reduction even further. So it's a perfect thing to have for this boss fight. I'm using for the Spirit the One Ring Wit. This also significantly increases defense, and when you use it, it does a nice amount of damage. You just have to use it wisely. You have to be quite close to the boss. For the armor, I'm using the complete Gale set, which has the following effects. Upon perfect dodges, grants considerable amount of focus, and upon perfect dodges, slightly reduces the cooldown of all spells. Also, the feet, the leg piece, has a unique effect. When performing 3 consecutive perfect dodges within a brief moment, recovers a moderate amount of mana. So not only you get focus, not only you get cooldown reduction, but you also get a nice amount of mana if you manage to pull 3 perfectly timed perfect dodges. Not easy to pull, but if you can get it done, it's always a nice thing to have. For the Curious, I'm using the Tiger Tally, which means that upon successful hits with light attack combos, moderately increases attack for a short duration, and you can see this in action because the staff will glow red. For the second one, I leave it to you. You could, if you need a bit more defense, you can always go with the Agate Jar. If you need a bit more stamina, for example, you can go with the Back Scratcher. This one is useful only when the gourd is fully depleted, so I don't really fancy it. You can use the Treat Kinda Pendant, which slightly reduces cooldown for all spells. Is also useful here. If you want to play with perfect dodging, this is also very nice, the Glaze Reliquary, but in general, I prefer the Wind Shine, at least during this early stages, because it slightly increases movement speed. It's not a lot, but it's significant enough that it makes dodge easier, because you can dodge and cover a bit more distance when you start running the opposite way. And this is pretty much the build. The playstyle is very focused on the perks that I'm using. As I said, I'm using the Smash stance. It's almost fully unlocked. There's only a couple points here and there missing, but I do recommend investing especially in the Smash stance or whatever stance you fancy instead of this one, so you can unlock the focused attack 4, which will give you the 4th focus point available, although it still depletes over time. For the mysticism, I have immobilized fully buffed to what I can at this stage. I don't have enough to invest in these just yet. The alteration, I'm using Cloud Step, but it's not recommended investing much on this just yet. The Pluck of Many, again, no investment just yet. And transformations, no investment just yet. I do recommend, however, that in the foundation you invest as much as you can in stamina, because at this stage, early in the game in Chapter 2, stamina can still be a bit of a problem. And martial arts, I do strongly recommend investing everything you can, because it will give you nice boosts of damage and extra boosts to your finishers damage. So this is pretty much the build, not a lot to it. It's basically a continuation of my previous build and my previous build video, but now enough said, let me show how this works against this boss.
Besides every sage, a villain resides. Beneath every mountain, an abyss lies. Where disparities persist, Bloodbaths may
I feel inclined to skip, but I'll let you showcase this just for the purpose of the boss fight. My gourd is actually fully upgraded as much as possible to this stage as well, so keep that in mind. That's a perfect dodge. That was a bad dodge. Didn't even dodge on time. That's a perfect dodge. Unfortunately, that was not one. That's a nice stagger. That's a perfect dodge. And now we're gonna go with that nice full heavy to the face. I'm gonna call the Pluck of Many while he's in the now with the transformation, I strongly recommend that you use it the same way I do. It's very nice to do the dodge to heavy because it does a nice stagger damage and a lot of fire damage to the enemy. It will most likely set them on fire, which is nice for the bonus damage. I'm gonna headbutt him now. Boom, there you go. Nice chunk of damage. Get out of the wind, because we don't want to be locked in this thing. Now just try to dodge his BS. That was two perfect dodges. Nice stun. Ooh, I didn't expect to take that damage. This thing does actually quite a bit of damage. But the good thing about this build is that, as you can see, even if you make mistakes, the build is quite easy and quite strong enough to use, and allowing you to make mistakes. And that's another mistake. I forgot the follow-up. There's a varied combo to avoid his, and he's gonna go with the wings now. So this is the perfect time to activate the vessel. As you can see, it stuns him and it absolutely stops the wind from working, which is exactly what we want. This makes him vulnerable not only to your attacks, but also to the varied combos, which is something very nice to use against this guy, because he does nice chunks of damage when he hits. That's another perfect dodge. Unfortunately, this one wasn't. Didn't manage to land my varied combo. Oh, I wish that was a perfect dodge. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But varied combo in the making. Nice chunk of damage. Get that cloud stance just for the... That's a perfect dodge. Didn't manage to pull the varied combo, but as you can see, if you were struggling with this boss, this build will easily help you get past it. Even if you make mistakes. I made a couple of mistakes, but as you can see, I'm making easy work of him. Nothing to fear, everything is under control. And finish him off. And this is it, guys. As you can see, the build at this stage makes this boss fight incredibly easy. And if you were struggling with this guy, I hope this build helps you as well. It is also a nice build to start with when you go to the next chapter. Of course, in the next chapter you can improve upon this build, as you are going to see in my next build video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, please do consider subscribing if you're one of my regular viewers. Thank you so much for the continuous support. This is Kadima saying goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio!